How long does a tape-in hair extension fitting actually take? That's a fair question, because if you've gone looking online, you'll have seen anything from, oh, it's a really quick lunch break service to, it took 3 hours, which isn't exactly helpful when you're trying to decide whether to book a half day off work or just a long lunch break. So let's give you a straight answer. A tape fitting will typically take somewhere between 45 minutes and 2.5 hours. Now, I know that's still quite a range, but there's a real reason behind that. A smaller fitting is a bit of added volume, a few panels to thicken up, and that can be comfortably done in well under an hour. But a full transformation, more length, density, and detailed blending around the face, that's where you're heading towards the 2 hour end. Neither is wrong, they're just different jobs. What I will say though is tape-ins are one of the fastest application methods. But that doesn't mean speed is the goal. And this is where expectations can get slightly off. Because a quick appointment sounds great, right up until you're back 2 weeks later wondering why things weren't sitting properly. So what actually determines how long your appointment takes? Well, the answer's a few things, and they're all worth understanding. First, it's the amount of hair being fitted. The more tapes equals more time. That part's pretty straightforward. Then there's your natural hair, the thickness, density, existing length. All of that changes how long the stylist needs to work. Fine hair often needs more precision, more careful weight matching. Thicker hair might need more extension hair to blend properly. So the same number of tapes doesn't always take the same time on everyone. Then there's sectioning and placement, and this is where the real time investment happens. Clean, even, precise sectioning takes longer, and there's no shortcut around that. But it's also what determines how the extensions feel, how they look, and how long they last. Cut corners here, and you'll usually see it. Visible tapes, discomfort, and slipping after the first wash. After the application, there's the cutting and the blending. And then there's the part that most people underestimate. You don't just apply the hair and send someone on their way. It needs shaping, movement, balance. It needs to actually look like it belongs. And that process can take just as long as the fitting itself, sometimes longer. Then finally, styling and finishing. Whether that's a smooth blow dry, curls or waves, that's what allows you to actually see what you're leaving with. So when you add all of that up, the appointment time isn't just about how long it takes to apply the tapes. It's the full process. The application, the blending, the cutting and the finishing, and every part matters. Now, why are tape-ins seen as a faster method? Because they're applied in panels. You're working with sections of hair rather than strand by strand. So compared with something like nano tips, yes, they are definitely quicker. But quicker doesn't mean less skill. You still need clean sectioning, correct weight distribution and careful placement, especially around the hairline and finer areas. And if any of that is off, you'll know fairly quickly. So just to give you a clear picture of what actually happens during that appointment, it usually starts with a consultation and colour matching, making sure everything is right before anything goes near the hair. Then the hair is sectioned into clean, balanced panels. The tapes are applied using sandwich method and properly secured. After that, the hair is cut and blended to suit your style and length. And then finally, styling and finishing so you can actually see the result. Each step has a purpose and none of them are optional. If you want a result that looks good and lasts. Now that might be slightly unpopular, but it's worth saying. A faster appointment is not automatically a better one. Quite often, it's actually the opposite. Because when things are rushed, when sectioning is approximate instead of precise, when placement is just close enough, that's when the problems show up. Tapes become visible, slipping after washing, discomfort from placement that's slightly off, a lifespan that's shorter than it should be. You might save 20-30 minutes in the chair, but you'll usually spend more time than that dealing with what comes after. This really is the difference between a basic fitting and a refined one. A basic fitting gets the job done. Standard sectioning, consistent placement, tapes in and out the door. For some people, that's fine, but a refined fitting is different. Placement is adjusted to suit the individual's hair. The hairline is customised, weight is balanced properly, and the focus is on how it looks and how it wears over time. That's usually what you're paying for. Not just the hair, but the level of detail in how it's fitted. So if you're planning a booking, a few practical things to keep in mind. Allow enough time. Don't try to squeeze it between other appointments. Arrive with clean, product-free hair and be clear on the result that you're looking for. Natural, full face framing so the stylist can plan properly. And most importantly, don't rush it, because the time spent getting it right in the chair directly affects how the hair performs after the appointment. A tape-in fitting takes anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours plus, depending on what's involved. But the better question isn't how fast is it, it's how well it's done. So if you're considering tape-in hair extensions, you can explore the full Roots tape-in hair range and find answers to more of the most common tape-in questions in the links below.